Okay, so I have to tell you this. From
Yeah,
last
tell me.
6 weeks, from last 6 weeks, the way I look at Facebook ads has totally changed for me. I've been doing Facebook ads for like 8 years, but I should say I knew nothing about Facebook ads the way you work. So man, you have really changed the way I look at Facebook ads. You have changed the way I look at my, overall business. And I'm still learning a lot. I'm watching your videos like couple of times because sometimes it's a little bit tricky to understand. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
not that simple. You just watch it out and you understand this. You have to really find out what Charlie is exactly saying. You have to actually drill your you have to really focus on your mind that, oh, okay, he means this. That's the main thing. That's your way you have to focus. And honestly, I'm running the way you are telling me, like telling everyone running how to run your Facebook ads. And man, it's for the first time in my life, my CPAs are going down while scaling up.
It sounds great. It's that's what happens when you use the tool in the way it was designed to be used. It's funny how first off, thank you, and second, I think it's funny when you use a data based approach to a machine learning algorithm, things get better the more you invest. People think I'm crazy when I'm like, oh, dude, just stop doing everything that you're doing that's getting in the way and actually just spend more and it'll improve. And they're like, no, 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 no. That's wild. That can't possibly work. And yet again, just like you're saying, it does. It literally just does exactly what it's supposed to do when you use it the right way. I'm so glad that it's working for you.
Yeah, man, I'm really, really like I'm hardly spending. I think I'm not even spending 5 minutes on my ads manager, man. I'm
You
really
shouldn't.
not looking. I do refresh it just to see okay what's
Oh yeah,
happening.
yeah. For the emotional hit, yeah, I get you. Every now and
Yeah,
again, you're just like, this,
okay.
yeah, it
Oh,
feels
it's going
good.
down. I check in the morning. Oh, it's going good. In the afternoon, oh, it's going down. Oh, it's a little bit up. Okay, I don't care.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah. When I check the stats for yesterday, oh, it was fine. It was
yeah.
fine.
It's
And
I
and
love
and
it.
and on weekly basis, my efficiency is getting better.
That's what it's all about, and that makes me so happy. You know, at the end of the day, what I'm hearing from you is just the confidence and the joy, and a little bit of like, oh wait, it can be this easy, because yeah, it can. And that's all I'm trying to do is tell people that it actually is really that easy to see far more success and less stress. And that's just what I try to help people realize for themselves
Yeah,
and
man.
show
Yeah,
them all the steps
and
in the way to make it work.
yeah, and I'm still scratching the surface. I haven't applied everything. I still need to learn a lot. Obviously, I need to really learn a lot, but still, I'm still scratching the surface. And when I see you have taken a lot of brands from where they were $50,000 a week to I think 5 million a week or something like that,
Yeah,
something
so
crazy.
that brand was 50,000 a month, and a
Uh
year and
huh.
a half later, we were doing 1 million a week,
Crazy. And that
and
started
that's
from a simple business. Started, I think, from using someone's personal credit card. I think that was the kind of
yeah,
business that
yeah,
was.
no, it's yeah, absolutely, an Amex with the founder's name on it. And then we did that with somebody else that had a meal replacement shake business, not a weight loss shake. And they went.
Yeah.
They when I got there, they were already doing about 15 million a year. But about 20 months later, we were doing 100. Also with Tim's Amex, it's just like okay,
Um.
dude got more points than anybody I've ever seen in my life. Never paid to fly
Everything is
anywhere.
free.
Yeah,
Everything is
yeah.
free. Your flights
Everything
are
is free.
covered. Yeah. And you know
Yeah.
what? So those guys who are actually watching us, we are talking about 310 nutrition, 310
Mm-hmm.
nutrition.
310
Great brand
Nutrition
if you really want to
and
see. Yeah.
yeah,
And one
310
is Under
Nutrition
Outfit.
and Under Outfit. Yeah, with my buddy Felix. So
Yes.
Tim from 310 Nutrition, and we did some other brands as well. But that one was fun. You know, these are. And the fun part
And
about
I'm
it
still
is that these
watching. You
things,
guys are currently running a crazy offer, which is buy it, try it for $0. I have seen that.
well, if you have a product and a business model that works, you just try to do everything you can to help people realize that you're where they should be spending their money.
Yeah, man. And that's what I wanted to talk to you because see, I'm coming from a drop shipping world.
Sure.
I haven't. So for me, it's very, very important to make money upfront. This is what's the win for me, like that's the
Yeah.
objective I have, right? So,
Yeah.
so I really want to ask you some really, really dull questions, and I know you're gonna crush those questions. You're gonna, so,
Well, I
but
love it. I
still,
love it. And you haven't told me any of these before, so this is gonna be super fun
yeah.
because
So I'm gonna
this
ask you like
is this
really
is super fun for
tactical
me.
stuff. Yeah, really tactical stuff. Someone who is really, they have to make money upfront right away. What should be the
Yeah,
strategy? And then
love
we'll
it.
talk about brand building and etc. So let's suppose I'm a drop shipper. I'm
Okay.
starting it up. I see there's a brand or there's a drop shipping business which is currently doing good. I've seen their Facebook ads library. They are running a lot of ads and they might be playing that race to the bottom, but still they're doing good. And I now have a little bit knowledge about how Facebook ads work, the way you tell us to do. What should be our approach if suppose we have a $5,000 credit card with us, and we have
Okay.
to make it work? That what should be the
Yeah.
blueprint?
Yeah. I mean, if I've got $5,000, and that means that I have to. First thing I want to do is I look at it. We look at the numbers, right? And so $5,000 means that when I spend that 5,000, I need to have at least one more dollar afterwards, and hopefully more than that. So one of the things that I do starting off is I say, okay, how much time am I going to give myself to do this? So let's say, for instance, it's a month. That means that I'm going to average about $150 a day, a little bit more, if I wanted to evenly space this out. Now, I probably won't start necessarily with 150 right away because I want to make sure that I kind of understand a few things and then I can save some of that money for later. But first thing I want to do is understand my numbers, understand my money, understand my timeline so that I can define what success looks like. And why that really matters is I don't necessarily need to be making a profit on day 2. I don't need to be making a profit on day 7. For instance, if I lose $50 a day for the first week and then $10 a day for the second week, and by the third week I'm making $5 a day, and by the fourth week I'm making $10 or $15 a day, by the time that $5,000 runs out, I actually have $6,000 or $7,000 still in the bank. And that definition of success is something that's really important for people that are scared because they look at today and they think that if today isn't good, then they fail. And one of the things that I want people to embrace is the idea that the most successful people fail more often than other people are willing to try. And that's really, really important. So, first off, just level setting. You're probably not going to make money on day 1, and that's totally fine. You might break even by week 2 or week 3. All you need to do is make sure that before you run out of the 5,000, you're starting to make more money than you spend. So let's set the table with that financially, because that also helps with your stress load of like, oh, my first week I lost $500. Like, okay, well, if you spent 1,000 and you only lost 500, great. You really, like you're on the right track. Things are going well. Now, the next thing that I'm really trying to do is understand when I'm building my ads and also my landing pages, what works. And I think one mistake a lot of people make is they try to be clever or they're really lazy. And I think you can be either way too clever or way too lazy when it comes to making things work. And what I mean by that is on the way too clever side, I see people trying to spin up their own landing pages that don't look like anybody else. But if somebody else is already making money and it's already working, you don't have to be that different to be successful. Also, there's plenty of money to go around. Even that person that's spending 10,000, 50,000, 100,000 a day isn't showing their ad to every single person that wants to buy. The other thing is some people are just too lazy. D2C. And what they'll do is they'll just rip off all the ads of everybody else, or they'll use the stock image from Alibaba or something like that. What really separates the drop shippers who are able to generate cash flow and ultimately build a business by vertically integrating other product offerings, one of the biggest things that I see them do, and I've done this myself, is get the product in your hands if you can sooner than later. Be able to shoot your own ads, make your own edits. If everybody is running the same ad, then Facebook is going to show that ad to people from the website and the ad account that already is shown to show people more success and a happier experience. So what we need to understand here is the reason people get shown an ad is because Facebook wants them to stay on the platform for longer and wants them to come back more often. Now, part of that isn't just the ad, but also what happens on the website. So if I have a brand new website and Facebook has never seen an ad for me before and nobody's ever been to my webpage, and you have a website that thousands of people have been to and hundreds of people have bought, and you've got an ad that you've spent thousands of dollars on. When Facebook is deciding who to show this new person, which ad should they show that person, odds are I'm going to lose because your ad is a higher quality experience. And the only way that my ads are going to get shown to people is I'm going to have to pay more money to show those ads to people. My CPMs are going to be higher, and where that ad gets shown is going to be lower in the feed. I'm going to get my ad shown to somebody 10 to 15 minutes into a doom scroll, and your ad's going to get shown to somebody as the third post on Instagram because you've earned above the fold placement. So why this really matters is don't reinvent the wheel, but also make sure that you're not using the exact same stuff as somebody else. And for those that are worried about getting their ad accounts blocked, when somebody's using that same picture from Alibaba and they violated Facebook's terms and services and their ad account gets blocked, if you're running an ad that uses the exact same image or the exact same video, well, you're going to get blocked too, because Facebook's just saying anybody using this thing, you're blocked. So if you don't make something of your own, you are beholden to the legal operations of the lowest integrity operator in the world. And I don't care how much integrity you have. Somebody out there is going to break the rules to try to make money, and if they get caught, you are no longer allowed to run ads ever again. So, all of that to be said, what do we do then? And what I highly recommend people do, and something I've done myself and spent untold amounts of money on, I mean, in the hundreds of millions at this point, I launch dynamic creatives, or sometimes now it's called flexible ads, depending on the ad account that you have. And what I want to do is I'm organizing my ads by concept. And what I mean by this is I want to arrange my ads in a way where I can show multiple variations to somebody with respect to copy and headlines and the creative. But every combination kind of makes sense. And what each test is doing is ultimately answering a question. So I don't want to go with just one version of a 3-2-2 ad. That's what we call it. 3 creative, 2 headline, 2 primary text. That's the optimal setup for any dynamic creative or flexible ad. I don't want to go to market with just one. Say I have a UGC video, right? And we've all got the same 3-minute video that some great drop shipper ran. But my team has come in and chopped it up a little bit, and I got some 15-second versions and some 1.5-minute long versions. Sure. I can run both of them side by side. I might have 3 edits that are around 30 seconds to 45 that might be square, and another one that's like a minute long, and maybe it's vertical or also square. What I'm doing when I'm running them side by side is not to see which ad wins. It's what ad does better. And because I'm running them both side by side, it's not a does this ad win or does this ad lose. It's which one is better and why. And this comes from a great lesson. And as a touring musician back in the day, this is something that I learned. Not to get too Slumdog Millionaire on, like, my history taught me this lesson. It's when I get off stage as a musician, I could ask you the question, do you want to buy a t-shirt? The answer is yes or no. If I ask you, which t-shirt do you want to buy? you are 2 to 3 times more likely to actually buy something. So, my point here is instead of running one ad or dozens of ads, we can have well organized, scientific method testing strategy. So I might go to market with, say, 2 videos in between 30 seconds and a minute long. And what I'm doing is seeing which one earns spend. And if it does, is the result good? Now I get to say, not does it work, but which one works better. And if I find one that works better, my next strategy might be, well, okay, I've got an ad, and from the looks of things, if I do what we call a 4PI analysis, which is something we can get into, which is I'm looking at the spend, the frequency, the CPM, and the efficiency. Basically, I'm to be able to understand, is this a top of funnel ad, or is Facebook using it as a bottom funnel ad? If my frequency is low and my CPM is low and that ad earns all the budget, I'm going to probably expect my CPA to be high because that's a top of funnel ad. Frequency is lower, my cost to show people that ad is less. So Facebook's trying to show that to more people less often. And because of that, the efficiency on that ad isn't as good. Now, if I'm drop shipping, or if I have any business that has a large total addressable market, what we call a TAM, a TAM, or there's a lot of competition in the space, I can probably get away with not having a lot of prospecting ads. I don't need top of funnel. I could just be, when somebody's ready to buy, let me be the thing that they see. So if my results aren't good enough, I might have too many videos that are too top of funnel. And you might say, well, all my competitors are running this video and it's working. Great. They've already solved that problem. Their ads are smarter. They've spent more money and Facebook has more trust in them than you will ever earn. So instead, we can try to have ads that fit more mid or bottom funnel. And generally speaking, image ads, square image ads, tend to have higher frequencies, higher CPMs, and better efficiency, meaning the CPA is lower. And why this really matters is if you and 17 other people are running the same 3-minute ad that all works because somebody's spending $25,000 a day on it because they scaled it up, you're all competing to be top of funnel. I can have a static image ad because maybe I bought the product, sent it to my house, I'm taking a couple of pictures, or I've just chopped up that video and made a carousel or something. When everybody else is feeding the funnel, I can be the thing that comes in and says, oh, by the way, here's that item you were looking for. Buy it from me. You can be the retargeting ad for somebody else's top of funnel effort. And if you're drop shipping and you don't know if you're going to be able to make the product work and you only have $5,000 and maybe a couple weeks to see if you can make it work, I'm going to probably focus on just let me be the salesperson that gets somebody across the finish line. Let me be the thing that scores the goal. I don't need to be the whole team. And so my recommendation for brands when you're starting out is, number one, understand your numbers. Number two, understand what you're trying to do. I'm not trying to copy everybody. And I'm also not trying to be terribly clever and reinvent the wheel. But what I can do is address a part of the funnel lower down that most people aren't. And I'm going to be able to steal the sales of the attention that they've bought. Because ultimately ads are about acquiring attention and then more ads being shown lower in the funnel to monetize that attention. I can let you bring everybody into the door and I'll just be the closer. And then I can work on building up the funnel if I actually need to. But that's probably where I would start. And with that, again, I'd probably have a couple 3-2-2 ads. I might have 3 images that are directly pulled from that initial video that everybody's seen. And I might have 3 images that are just a product shot with some features and benefits. I'm going to play around with those things and see what earns budget, how well does it perform, and ultimately, what's profitable. And if I can figure that out, then I've already solved my most important problem. And if my landing page looks a lot like other people's and my ads are doing the job that other people's ads aren't doing, I'm going to probably make a lot more money than other people will, and I'm going to do it a lot sooner.
Man, I don't want to release this episode. You just shared, man, I cannot believe you just shared crazy stuff. If someone hasn't like actually watched this part, I'm really 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 grateful that they haven't watched that. Because you just shared the blueprint, man, how to print like really good money, and
Yeah.
literally with limited funds. And man, you, as I said, like, I'm not sugarcoating. I never say this kind of stuff to anyone, but man, this thing has changed the way I look at stuff. I want to run those stuff which you just said. I want to just test it out and see, can we do some good damage to those guys who are actually crushing, like maybe spending hundreds and thousands of dollars a day. And you know that because you see a lot of people in our space, and you have seen people, those who are running drop shipping brands. I think, in my opinion, they are just playing the game of AOV and just spending as much as they
Yeah.
can. They are not playing that game which you share, like Under Outfit and 310 Nutrition. They are only playing the game of higher AOV because that's the only game they know.
Yeah.
That's the only game they know.
Yeah. I mean, what we're talking about here is funnel hacking
Yeah,
and ultimately working on leveraging the intent of the market and
yeah.
understand that people with more money can do all the hard work. You can just come in and get all the sales.
The kiddo needs your attention. That's completely fine. You just take care of her. No problem. My 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 daughter is
There we go.
sleeping. My daughter is sleeping right now.
She
Hey,
just woke up from
hi.
a nap.
Nice. I see that. I really love it. Like being a father to a daughter, I totally understand. That's
Love it.
my daytime duty as well. So I understand that. Perfect. Perfect. And so you just gave me a very, very good blueprint. I'm gonna try it out for sure. I'm just gonna spend some money and see how it works. I'm gonna keep you posted on that part.
I love it.
Okay, so amazing. I really want to talk about the Advantage Plus campaign. I have consumed everything from your side, but this is for those people, and then I will. So I want to add a question on top of it. I have a
Yeah.
theory in my mind. I want to ask you whether that theory will work or not, and that will definitely
Okay.
benefit a lot of people. But for before that, you let us know what an Advantage Plus campaign is for. People are getting crazy about that. Even I was getting crazy 6 weeks
Yeah.
before, but now not
Sure.
anymore. So you tell me.
Yeah. So a couple of years ago, Facebook released this product called Advantage Shopping or Advantage Plus campaigns. And the purpose of that back then, and still to this day, is to make Facebook ads easier. If you don't know what you're doing, it will help show your ads to more people who are ready to buy right now. And it'll do so in a way that will probably be get you better results early on. And as a ramification of that, though, it is generally far more mid and bottom funnel, and it fatigues ads quickly. And Facebook did this because there was a lot of creators on TikTok making a ton of content. So if
Yeah.
we know that somebody's making a ton of content, a brand might make 2, 3 Instagram reels a day. Well, then if you're making tons of reels a day and anything could be an ad, and you're just trying to spend a couple dollars to make profit, let's make Facebook super easy for you to come in and get a good enough result. Can we get you a C plus on day one? And the answer is yeah. That's what Advantage Shopping is for. It's easy mode. Well, the problem with easy mode is you get stuck at a C plus result. So if you're a B plus or A level marketer, when you run Advantage Shopping, you're only ever going to get C plus results because your ads are going to fatigue,
Yeah.
and you're only ever going to show your ads to people who are in the middle of the bottom of the funnel, which also means that when people are less likely to buy, or when other folks throw a ton more money in, or if any of your creative isn't exceptional or just not as good as somebody else, you're not making any sales because you're not developing your own funnel. And you're ultimately preventing the machine from getting smarter because your ads are dying really fast. So if you want to build a business where your ads can scale, ultimately advantage shopping is a good first step, maybe, but I never recommend people use it more than 10 or 15% of their budget. I think it's a good tool, but if I have a really good screwdriver, I can, I could probably use it as a hammer. I don't know if I could fix my plumbing with it. I might be able to paint with it, but if I just want to, drill in screws, it's a great tool, but it doesn't do everything. And my point to that is Advantage Shopping does very well at showing your ads to somebody who's ready to buy. The
Yeah.
problem is it also makes your ads die quick. And everybody else is trying to also compete for that person. And if you haven't done anything to tell Facebook or to get the trust of that person to show them that you're the brand they want to talk to, you're not going to make any money, especially when consumers are less likely to make purchases. And in the summer months, we're filming this July 13th, people are inherently spending less money than they were in January. And in the middle of February, they're spending less money than they were in February. And in the middle of January or in December. And every cost capper and Advantage Plus person said Facebook is broken in the middle of February. And it didn't break. It's just that people weren't spending as much money. Because to be fair, you just ran 3 months full of massive sales. And then the new year started, so they bought everything for them in January. Well, everything that you're going to sell them, they already bought from you 100 days ago for a discount. So they're not going to buy from you now. So all the cheat codes that only go after people who are going to want to buy right now, well, when those people go away, those cheats stop working. So Advantage Shopping is a great way, if you just have a store and you're just like, look, I just want to spend like 10, $20 a day. I have a couple things that went viral on TikTok or whatever, run it there. It's a great tool. But if you want to spend a couple hundred or $1,000 a day, it's gonna be the cheat code that gets you ahead, but ultimately holds you back. So
Yeah.
I think it's a great tool, but especially now when people are less likely to buy. The number one complaint, and I'm sure you've seen this too, people say, well, Facebook's just showing the ads to everybody that's already bought from me. It's doing all this retargeting, it's doing everything. And my response to that is, if you've only used cost caps and Advantage Plus and Advantage Shopping, you've made no effort to grow the size of the funnel. So you're only showing the ads to everybody else that hasn't bought yet. Well, if you've been showing them ads for a month or two and they didn't buy then, odds are they're not going to buy now. So you've made no effort at introducing new people to the business, and you're only trying to show your ads to the people who already told you they're not interested. So as a result, you're not selling things, right? Like if I gave you my phone number because I'm interested, you're a vacuum salesman and I'm interested in buying a vacuum, and you've knocked on my door every day for a month, and I've told you to just go away every time. It's not like coming back and hitting me over and over and over again is going to get me to change my mind. You're just pissing me off. And then ultimately we have to understand with Facebook is remember we talked earlier about the user experience on Facebook is what Facebook is selling. If all of your advertising is built around the idea of pissing off Facebook users, your CPMs are going to go up. The quality of person that your ads get shown to gets worse. And if you're not filling your funnel, you're only ever paying more and more money to reach the same group of people who've already told you they're not interested in buying. And for that reason, it's a cheat code that doesn't scale. I think everybody starting out should give it a shot, but if you want to scale your business, it's not going to be the thing that gets you there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally, totally. I have this one theory I just want to run by you so that you let
Okay.
us know whether that works or not. I know in Q4 there's a huge trend for, let's suppose, jewelry, custom
Sure.
jewelry, right? I know that people gonna have money, they're gonna be a trend. Can I use Advantage Plus to hijack that traffic? that part of the funnel where people are like ready to buy, and I know there's gonna huge amount of people who are ready with their credit cards in Q4. Do you recommend during that time if someone has to make money upfront on ice cold traffic every day or most of the days, and they want to crush those numbers? Do you recommend that time running those kind of campaigns where your objective is very, very clear that you have to make
Yeah.
money from ice cold traffic? That's about it. What do you say?
Yeah, I think it can be a good tool for that time, especially if you don't have any data. If you haven't been running your store all year and you're just starting it in October.
It's a new business altogether, a
Yeah,
new
brand
store.
new business. If it's a brand new business and you don't have the money or the experience, and by experience, not you as a marketer, but the machine having data with knowing who to show ads to and who not to show ads to, then it can be a great tool early on to get you some quick cash. The wins you have in November and December aren't going to be what helps you win and ultimately scale in February. But I
Yeah.
think in those times, there's no harm in saying, I don't have a lot of money to spend. I want to only show my ads to the people who are ready to buy. And what I really want to help people understand is only play the games where you have a chance of winning. If you only have a little bit of money, only show your ads to the people exactly ready to buy. Until you've reached all of them, don't worry about trying to reach more. But once you run out of them, you're going to have to move up funnel. And ultimately, scaling your budget won't do that for you when it comes to Advantage Plus. You're just going to upset more and more people. And what happens when you scale your budget is your CPMs go up, but your success doesn't. And so that's where it falls apart. But if I've got $1,000 to spend in 30 days and a product that I think people will like, but 20 other people are selling it, advantage shopping isn't a bad move. That's a perfect use for that tool. But if I have a business where I'm spending 1,000 a day and I've got thousands of people who've been to my website and I've been selling a whole bunch of things, Advantage Plus isn't going to be what gets me to 2,000 a day.
Got it. Got it. Perfect. Okay, I have one more scenario for you.
Okay.
If
I'm loving
my
these, by the way.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. So, because I have those drop shipping questions, man. I really have
Sure. No,
those.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. So, if my CPA, let's suppose I want a CPA of $1. I'm just giving you a example. Okay.
Sure.
$1 CPA is great for me. I'm profitable. I'm getting 50 cents and my frequency is under 1.15. It's under
Okay.
that. That means I'm prospecting and I'm still highly profitable. Because what does that mean? What would Charlie do if Charlie is having that kind of a number? Frequency is prospecting, your
Yeah.
CPA is
Really
50% below
good.
what you want.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do with that? You're gonna do like you're gonna blow up the budget.
Yeah.
What are you gonna
I
do?
mean, this is where drop shipping might be different than brand building.
Mm-hmm.
If you were trying to build a business and you had multiple things to sell to people and you're vertically integrated and you were looking at success as I want to go from spending $100 today to next year I want to be spending 10,000 a day. Same stuff. Then I would slowly ramp up my budget using the cash flow that I have. And I might do 2% a day. I might do 5% 3 times a week. That'll double my budget every
Every
month.
month. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll give me 37 times more.
In a
If
year.
I'm spending 100 today, I'll be spending 3,700 in a year. That's great. And maybe I can want to spend more than that. But if I'm in the drop shipping world and I know if I scale slowly, somebody else is going to steal my ads and my webpage and do everything else and just take all the sales because
Yeah.
literally everybody's going to do the same thing that you're trying to do to somebody else to you,
Yeah.
then I'm going to be more aggressive. And one of the things that I generally do is something I call what I call a total loss investment. And what I mean by that is how much money could I spend where making zero sales with that additional money is okay. And what I mean by that is, let's say I'm spending $100 a day and I'm doubling every dollar I've got. After 5 days, I've got an extra $500 profit. I'd be willing to spend that knowing that maybe I go from doubling my money to only making 75 cents profit. But if I'm doing that 5 times more, my profit margin per sale goes down, but my profit volume per day goes up. And so I'm willing to invest basically yesterday's profit and additional ad spend today. And as long as I don't completely break the machine in drop shipping, unlike brand building, it's a land grab. I just want to get as many sales as possible, because ultimately, when other people find my product and copy my website and run their own ads, all they're doing is more prospecting for my ads, because I've already told the machine that I'm trustworthy and they're not. So just like we talked about before, where if you're competing with everybody else and ultimately you're not going to be successful because your business has been around for a while and I'm brand new. If I've been around for a while, everybody trying to copy me only gets me more traffic. Yes, only gets me more opportunity. And one of the things that I would highly recommend if you're in that space is not just focusing on Facebook. I want to be getting my Google shopping up. I want to be getting my, yeah, I know. We're going to tell them. Also Amazon. Like, let me get every base covered, right? Let me get my email going. If I'm already profitable and I'm driving a lot of traffic, Facebook is probably the least profitable channel I have. And I can keep cranking my volume there. But if every $100 I add to my Facebook budget gets me, say in this case, 200 sales at 50 cents a pop, then with that additional $100, I can probably add $10 or $20 to Google that are also going to get me the same volume of transactions. And maybe Google is going to steal some sales from Facebook and we're worried about attribution and all this other stuff. None of that actually matters. What matters is how much money did you spend and how many sales did you get? And that's ultimately a blended CPA.
Yeah.
And what I want to challenge you to start thinking about is volume of profit is more important than margin of profit. And if I can spend my money that I earn today on more ad spend tomorrow, I'm good to go. I did a business around squishy cats, right? Cell phone cases, and then it expanded to a bunch of other things. And what we said was 50% of our profit today is additional ad spend tomorrow. And we scaled fast, right? It started at like $100, and within a week we were at like 2,000-3,000 a day, and within a month we were at like 10 or 20,000 a day. And every day we were willing to basically say, if half of my profit today is additional ad spend, say I made $500 profit today, that's 2 days at $250 more ad spend, where if I get no more sales, I'm okay. Well, odds are if you add $250 a day, you're going to get at least 1 or 2 more sales, right? So you're scaling up with this additional profit volume. And because you're using a percentage of that profit volume as additional ad spend, you're using your cash flow to scale your business. And that's ultimately what success is built on. And in drop shipping, speed is everything. Because if you move too slowly, you have a win on Monday. By Friday, somebody else is willing to start at 1,000 a day and you started at 100. They're going to beat you by the following Monday. You've already lost. So move quickly. But one of the things that I like to tell people is keep some of that money in your bank account, right? You might have a great 3-week run and then you're out of the game. But if you save 50 cents of every dollar you made profit, at the end of that 3 weeks, you might have made 10, 20, 30, 50, $100,000. So
Yeah.
it's the same thing I do when I go to a casino. If I double 100, if I put down $100 bet and I get $100 in winnings, I'm taking 50 and putting it in my pocket. I'm always taking some money off the table and I save that for something else. And ultimately, I'm not measuring success on how profitable are my ads today. When I run out of money, I run out of money, but I've already taken some money and put it in the bank. So when I run out of my operating cash, I still have a huge bank account that I've built up just for doing the work. And that's a bit of self-control and financial management that I think a lot of drop shippers never really put into place, because they're like, oh wow, this is working, this is working. Then they start chasing it when more competition comes, and they take all of their profits and they throw it into more ad spend, and they come out further behind than when they started. And that is ultimately a path to success. And what I want to tell anybody who's good, anybody can win once. A good drop shipper can win whenever they try. And they're not going to win every game, but if you started a new drop shipping store every single month, odds are you're going to win more than once a year. And if you can put money in your pocket every month while you're doing it, you've built yourself a job. And that's what it's really all about. And my cheat code for individuals is also to figure out a niche where you can do drop shipping for multiple products. Because when you start selling product number 2, you start by sending an email to everybody that bought product number 1 and sell them this second thing. And if I sold 10,000 of something, and I can send out an email, and 10% of those people buy item number 2, I made 1,000 sales for free on day 1. Take 50% of that money, put it in the bank. Launch a third product, launch a fourth product. Now I'm not at the casino playing the lottery every new product. I'm building a brand. That Squishy Cat store that I mentioned before, we ended up having like 20 or 30 cat themed cell phone and electronic accessories. We ended up getting to cat toys and all sorts of other things because the people that bought it, we just found, would they like to buy this thing? And the fun part is, if nobody buys on that email, don't even bother running ads. And now you've eliminated so much of the struggle. And if you can win once, you don't have to win ever again. Because all you're doing is saying, does my audience want to buy this thing? And if the answer is yes, take some of that money, start running ads to that second thing. You scale the whole thing up and just keep going over and over and over again. And that's where you build a brand.
You have a target audience to basically you have a audience to test your products without even spending money.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you make money, use that money to spend on ads and see if that works, right?
Yeah. At 310 Nutrition, we would do that. Like, we would get like the Blend Jet like 5-6 years ago when it wasn't called the Blend Jet yet. The dropshipping thing, like, we would just be like, hey, everybody that bought from us, by the way, here's this thing 50% off. And we would sell like 10,000 of them to our email list. Well, that's money that we're going to go buy our inventory with and just leave it as an upsell to everybody that's buying our existing hero product. It's our bundle. We were building bundles, and the upsell was just whatever was selling good on email. And if we couldn't sell it, we wouldn't even buy the product. Like, we could pre-sell with email and then drop ship that first run. And if it was successful enough, we would just buy inventory with that profit, take some of it, put it in the bank, and then run ads with everything else. And we would do that 2-3 times a month. And it's funny, if you go to the 310 Nutrition website, you're going to see something called accessories. The accessories section is just all the drop shipping products that haven't sold through yet. Where maybe we bought 1,000 of them to get them dirt cheap, and we still have 5 on a shelf somewhere in Tennessee. And just like when somebody buys it, it's gone. But yeah, like, it's already been bought and paid for with a profit. And we already put a ton of money in the bank. So my point to this is, you only ever need to win once when you're drop shipping. And if you invest half of that money in growth and you start to figure out other products people want to buy, you're brand building even though you don't have a brand. You're building a business. Yeah. Okay. You're building a business even though all you're doing is drop shipping. And some of the most successful drop shippers that I know, you wouldn't. Okay. Some of the most successful drop shippers I know, you don't know that their store's a drop shipping store because you're just a fan of the brand. And that's the huge win that you can get to. And then ultimately you get enough sales, you buy some product and you put it in a warehouse in the United States so that shipping isn't 3 weeks, and you develop all of that stuff. But you're just drop shipping stuff. You've just found a way of finding what we call vertical integration. And that's the cheat code I think 1% of drop shippers even know exists. But 100% of people should be doing.
Got it. And definitely, like, the way you have actually explained this makes total sense. But let's suppose someone is, and you said you just have to be right once, right?
Yeah.
You just need to win once in dropshipping.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to go for it. Let's suppose I'm going for it. I want to
Okay.
win once. What market would you pick if Charlie has to do it in
Yeah.
2024? What Charlie gonna do when he knows that he gonna do the drop shipping model, everything, and he just need to be right once, and his business objective is, let's put it up a number over there. He has to make $100,000 in profit.
Okay.
What's Charlie gonna do? What is going to be his mental model on that?
The first thing that I want to do is I want to look at verticals. I want to look at a niche that allows for vertical integration. I want to know, like, if I'm selling AirPod cases, okay,
Mm-hmm.
I can also sell power cables. I can sell cases for the phones. I can sell cases for the laptops. I can sell batteries. I can put together a whole store. But if that whole store is built off of one drop shipping product worked, and then I can build out additional products that are all drop shipped in the way that we talked about, built off of the email list and everything else. That's the first thing that I really want to notice is where can I go to build something that allows for vertical integration? The second thing that I want to look at is where is that market not already heavily saturated by Amazon basics? And I think this is a big thing a lot of people don't understand. Like, if Amazon has already figured out how to make the product and they're willing to lose money just to keep Amazon buyers, there's no way I can beat Elon. There's no way I can beat Jeff Bezos, right? Like, he can lose. He makes $8 million an hour. He can misplace more money than I'll ever make in my life and not even realize it. He makes so much money that if he dropped $100 bill, he loses money by stopping to walk and picking it up. That's how much money he makes. I can't compete with him selling the same products he's already figured out. Now, the last thing that I want to try to look for is products. This is something we call, the product has to be demonstrable, meaning I would like to be able to demonstrate what the product does or how it works. And the reason for that is because I want to be able to create content that's compelling. If it's just, let's say I'm trying to sell lids, caps for a camera. This is a picture of a cap. It is really hard to tell a compelling story about this cap picture. Now you might say, well, I'm doing print on demand jewelry. Okay. If it's just a ring, a gold ring with nothing behind it, it's really hard to sell. If it's a gold ring that's part of a collection that I've branded because it's the fifth thing that with the brand that I've already kind of put together, and there's an Etsy store and I personalize some of it, okay, now we're good. But that's product 7. That's not product number 1. If I can't spend time to earn your attention and tell a story about how this product works, then I'm not going to be able to make ads to get your attention to sell the product. And if you look at all of the best infomercials from the 80s and 90s, you know, they're all demonstratable products. The infomercial is an entertaining way of gathering somebody's attention. So they just want to see what's going on. You're entertaining and you're educating and you're earning that attention. A picture of a cap, of a lens, it's very hard to do that. Now, there are some great video marketers out there that'll absolutely be able to spin something up, but what if I'm wrong on this product? Well, I'm going to spend a lot of time and energy trying to figure something out versus one of my favorite drop shipping products over the last year was the was something you put on the end of a hose and it kind of looked like a squirt gun and it had some soap in it and you could wash your dog like really, really fast and it was like super fun, like the pet jet or whatever it was.
I think I know that. Yeah.
Yeah. That is a great ad because it's got dogs in it. You got kids in it. Or there's that one that's the circle with the water coming out of it and it's like the kids can play in it and it's the dog like thing. Like now I can hit. Yeah. Now I can hit on content that's entertaining, I can show you how the product works, so I can tell a story. I can have images for it, and I can sell you other pet items. That's hitting on all of the things, and there is not an Amazon Basics version of that product. And
Got
so
it.
for me, those are all the things that I really want to look at, and something that okay. And something that most people don't think about, and I really wouldn't worry about too much, but to keep in mind is size of the box. The larger the size of the box, the more expensive it is to ship the product. Meaning, if I'm giving you free shipping, the more money I lose to offer you a compelling offer to get the free shipping. So one of the reasons that the BlendJet took 5 or 6 years to sell at a profit and take off as a drop shipping product was because it's expensive to ship. Bigger items are more difficult to make money on unless you can get them for cheaper. When that product was $35 from the factory and I had to eat the $12, $15 2-week shipping, it was hard to make money on. Now that it's
Mm.
$4, I can still make money giving you the free shipping and whatever else. So keep in mind that those things matter. And that's one reason why print on demand jewelry is crazy successful, because you can put it in an envelope and put a stamp on it and send it to somebody. So those things don't matter right away. But if my focus is to get to 100,000, a million or more, I got to start thinking, does this win scale? And if it doesn't, I probably want to try something else, because there's probably 20 different things that could work. But if one is easier, I'm probably going to go with that route. And that dog mat with the water that comes out of it and everything, that's a big box. That's probably not going to be as successful as the mat that sticks to like the side of the bathtub that the dog can lick, right? That has the peanut butter in it. Just because the unit economics aren't the same. And if you don't know your money and you can't make money on something, it's really bad idea to start selling it. But yeah, all of those things really matter. And then, so for all of those things right now, I think that if you can find things in specific lifestyle niches, I'm seeing a lot of folks, like 2 years ago, we're getting into the paddle ball stuff, and golf is a big one. Pets is always a strong one. I just want to be able to find a niche that checks all of those boxes. And I get asked from people all the time, like, what's the best product? And the honest truth is, I don't care. I can win with almost any product. What matters is the business model. Because if I can win once, I don't need to win again. And winning once, it doesn't matter what the product is. It's just, again,
Do
can I make a
do
bunch of
you
content to demonstrate?
do you define winning ones with a value, a dollar value? Like for you, winning once is $1 million, or winning once is like $100,000. What's winning for you?
Winning for me means I can sell the product for a while. For me, winning is sustainability. Can I sell this product for a week? Well, then I don't care. Can I sell this product for a month? That's better. Can I sell this product for 6 months? Well, if I can get sales on it for 6 months, my opportunity to sell you additional things goes way up, right? If I can sell you this product for 6 months or a year, then, like, for instance, the pet jet, I can sell that product for 5 years. Everybody with a pet's going to need it. It's hard to build a better mousetrap. Like, it's going to be exciting. And at some point, the only reason I can't sell this because everybody else has. It's not a trendy product per se. And the beauty of that is, well, now I can get you on that product, and I can spend every other week sending you a new drop of an
Yeah.
email. And if you buy
Yeah.
it, great. I'm drop shipping with email because you bought the first item. So now that first item is just lead gen to an email drop shipping store. And all I'm doing is buying email addresses at a profit and then selling you things for free via email. And I can put all that money in my back pocket, and every sale I make off of all those email addresses is more money I can spend on buying more email addresses. And once you get to product 2 or 3 down that road, you don't even need to be profitable on day one. with your hero product because you're getting money across the entire business. So if you can build a business model, you're going to be successful. If you need to rely on being a good salesperson for a product, you're going to fail. And that's ultimately, for me, that sustainability is the win, because that means I don't have to solve the problem over and over and over again. I don't want to
And
do that.
I don't want to interrupt you, but the more I'm talking to you, the more clarity or the matrix is getting yet, I can see through the matrix right now, like what's happening. It's totally changing because for us being a dropshipper, I'm doing this since 2016. I had so many home runs in my life in terms of the wins you are talking about, like multiple $100,000, like $150,000 just doing one product in 1 month, $200,000 in 1 month. But we were not playing the game which you are just talking about. We were not looking at things the way you are talking about. So we were always trying to figure it out. Okay, what's next? Let's try to work hard again and do the same thing, though we have
Yeah.
already done it once. And we're trying to do the same thing again and again, though we can just leverage that and keep doing the same thing for a very long period of time. But you have
Yeah.
changed it.
And what I'll say, this is a lesson I learned from Tim back at 310 Nutrition. Remember I said we did a lot of brands? The lesson I learned from him is, if you can build a group of people who can sell the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh product, but if they know all the steps behind the first one, then your business, and his business called iRecon, our team was good at selling the third to the 10th product in your product cycle. What we did was we figured out more and more products to sell you at the first one. But the same team, if we sell squishy cat cell phone cases, great. If we sell meal replacement shakes, great. If we sell, jewelry or candles or essential oils or skincare, great. As long as we have a team that knows, okay, all I got to do is find another product in this niche, see what's trending, send out an email, make a good website, then your business is actually setting up multiple. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I think we're going
She's
to have to call
happy.
it in a minute. Then your business is just setting up more of these opportunities. I think one of the best examples of this with some folks, one of the best examples of this that I've seen with some folks do lately is they had a factory where they could make any product they wanted to. It was a textile company.
Mm-hmm.
And they sold these huge oversized hoodies, and they were available at every store. And they said, every time we get to 7 or 8 million, we're great. We can't get to 10 without spending an additional 2 or 3 million. So that additional going from 7 or 8 to 10 was all ad spend, basically breaking even. So instead, what they realized is, well, we have a factory where we can make any textile good we want to. And we have a
Yeah.
great team that gets people very happy. So instead of trying to scale one business 50%, let's just make a new business every 6 months, and each one of them can get to the 7 to 8 million space. And in 2 years, they went from 7 million. Now they're doing mid 20 with 5 products, because they realized that their business isn't selling the Supergiant hoodie. Their business is, how do I put my factory and my team to work with several different product lines? And if you've already built a business where you can do drop shipping a bunch, all you need to do is build 3 or 4 person team that can sell multiple products, and you just give them different games to play. And if each one of them makes money, your business is actually spinning up reoccurring revenue from the customers that you get in different product verticals. And if you can crack that game, you're going to make a ton of money, and you don't have to start over and over again. Because every time you have to start over, you might lose. And if you lose too often, you're out. But I only have to win once, and I'll make more money than you in a year every time.
Amazing, Charlie. I cannot. I can keep on going with such stuff, but obviously, you have other stuff to do, and I wanna keep it to part 2 as well. I wanna bring you back because I know for sure that I will have some crazy results, and we wanna talk about those later on. Uh, Amazing, man. I cannot like best podcast ever, best conversation ever. I cannot stress this enough. No sugarcoating at all. Really, like, man, amazing stuff. Thank you so much. Really appreciate.
Thank you so much. And I'm going to go take care of this little girl because ultimately, what all of this has done is given me the ability to put family over work. And that's what I'm going to do today. So, Nick,